Hello and welcome to Absolute Trust Talk. This is our podcast here at Absolute Trust Counsel. I'm Kirsten Howe. Here with me today is Madison Gunn. And we get this question often enough that we kind of thought we'd talk about it today. And I think that a lot of people, before they meet with their estate planning attorney for the first time, they Google around and they want to know, or they've heard some things. I know I should have a trust because my financial advisor told me I should have a trust, or my next door neighbor told me I should have a trust. So they start reading about trusts and we get this question: should I have a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust? Which is a fun question from our side of the table. Madison, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's always a fun conversation to explain, because as soon as you explain it, they're like, oh, yeah, I don't want that. Because a revocable trust that's what we do. We do standard revocable trusts. They're for estate planning. You have control over everything. Nothing changes for you. You put everything in your revocable trust. You can change it. You're in charge of it. You get to keep all of your assets. A revocable trust, irrevocable trust, you're giving everything away. It's right. You can't change it. You're gifting it away, and it's irrevocable. And
right. So the revocable trust is the basic component of a standard estate plan, and its job is to make sure that what you want to happen to your stuff will happen when you die, and it'll be simple, it'll be easy, it won't cause everybody to have to go to court. That is the basic estate planning vehicle, is the revocable trust.
Yeah.
That's what everybody has. Irrevocable trusts are for other purposes, and those purposes aren't relevant to everybody.
No.
Most people don't ever need that.
No.
Let's talk about what the uses of irrevocable trusts are to kind of illustrate that point.
They're usually for asset protection. So you're worried about getting sued, or they're for taxes, estate taxes, people who are worried about estate taxes. And so there are very specific situations that are for very specific people, and there are certain situations, and they're not for everybody. So they're set up in very particular ways. Either somebody creates one, they create an irrevocable trust by gifting their assets to somebody else. They set up that irrevocable trust, or it's done through their revocable trust. When they die, the revocable trust becomes irrevocable, and there might be an asset protection trust for someone else in there. So there might be a trust set up for one of their children that's asset protection. They're worried about that child being sued in the future, something like that.
Okay. And we kind of recently touched on an example of such a trust in a real recent episode. We were talking about Cher's petition for conservatorship over her son. And part of the problem was that he is the beneficiary of an irrevocable trust that was set up for him when his father died, apparently. And so that's just an example that when somebody dies and they leave money for somebody else in trust, that would be an irrevocable trust.
Right.
But Madison is also saying that you can, while you are alive, set up an irrevocable trust. The reason it's not for everybody is because you are giving the assets away. And most of us, myself included, I need all the assets that I own. That's going to support me. That's how I pay my bills. That's how I'm going to live when I retire. Most of us are not in a position to be giving assets away.
Yeah, this is typically for the married couple that has an estate tax problem. So they have more than $26 million. So they're not worried about how they're going to survive.
Right. And giving away a few $100,000 or $1 million while they're alive, that's not a big deal to them. That would be a really big deal to me.
Right.
So, and to all of our clients, I imagine, or most of our clients. Okay. And so, but the other point is you've given it away and it's irrevocable.
Right.
Meaning can't be changed.
Can't change it. Yeah.
No. So we use just the revocable trust in the standard estate plan. We only use the irrevocable in very specific situations. Sometimes we use them, as Madison said, for tax planning. And so, we could get into all the various irrevocable trusts that help people with avoiding estate tax. But maybe that's another episode.
Yeah. But just to be clear, that means your revocable trust doesn't protect you from being sued. In general, if you're worried about that, maybe there's another problem, but also like an umbrella policy from your insurance company would cover that. Car accidents, things like that. That's usually where those umbrella policies come into play. That's not where your trust is not going to be for that. Even an irrevocable trust isn't really going to protect you from that, things like that. And then if you have rental properties or businesses, correct business formation is what protects you from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a very good point. Because we do from time to time get asked that question too. Okay, so as soon as I create this trust, I'm going to be protected from lawsuits, right? No, not a revocable trust for sure. The revocable trust is completely transparent. Under the law, it's treated as though it's you, because you are the trustee, you are the beneficiary, and you are the grantor. You're everything. So it's you. Doesn't protect you from creditors. If you need creditor protection, you probably ought to talk to a bankruptcy lawyer and get some good advice about exactly what to do. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think for most people, irrevocable trusts they're not something that are being set up. It might be something that you set up for your kids that are set up after you pass away through your trust, but not generally something you set up during your life for yourself.
Yeah. For most people. We do have clients who do that, but for most people, just focus on getting your revocable trust set up. Your kids will love you for not dragging them into probate court. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Madison. And thank you all for joining us. We hope you got something useful out of that. And we look forward to connecting with you next time.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Absolute Trust Talk Live. If you enjoyed listening in, then don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you may listen by searching Absolute Trust Talk. While you're there, we would also love for you to leave us a review. And then why not share your favorite episodes with family, friends, or colleagues too? You can find all of our shows and corresponding show notes by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com. You'll also find a variety of other free resources, including our ebooks, videos, blogs, presentations, and more. If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com/scheduling. Don't forget to keep an eye out for our next live episode. If you join us for the broadcast, you can submit questions during the show. But if not, don't worry. You can always get in touch with us by sending a quick message to info@absolutetrustcounsel.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.